Revered Swami Ishtananda Maharaj, my pranam, and all my brothers, monks, my love and best wishes. Prasannath Mananji, I especially thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity of coming back to this place where during my stay in Southern California, I used to visit every year at least once because of very loving and affectionate invitation by Swami Ishtananda Maharaj. I don't know why he has not visited Florida in all these years. Now he has got more time. And I have got an open invitation to him. If he is listening, he could come, stay with us. We have got wonderful rooms and devotees to really love to have him there. He has visited once. When Swami Prabhupada Maharaj, at that time he was the General Secretary of the Berkeley Mutt, he was visiting, Swami Ishtananda visited. Nevertheless, during the time of Swami Ishtananda, I visited this place several times, and also afterwards when Prasannath Mananji came, then also. So I have got very sweet, wonderful memories of this place, and I am so happy to come back here and see that the place has moved on to a much nicer, better, booming congregation, and I really thank all of you for your very wholehearted participation. So today's talk is Vivekananda and Neo-Vedanta. And I understand by now everybody is clear in their head what is this Neo-Vedanta, because Neo-Vedanta, as Swami Prabhupada Maharaj explained, that it is a German word, and then afterwards it was also straightened out that Neo-Vedanta means a new explanation of the same old Vedanta. Vedanta cannot be replaced by anything else. This is our age-old heritage that we are so very proud of. And we are absolutely rooted in Vedanta and Vedanta alone, which is not changing from there. But yes, as some of my previous speakers, very learned Swamis, they have given wonderful talks. I was so much enjoying their talks. In fact, I was a little bit unsure of, before coming to this meeting, that what I would be speaking, because before me there would be 4 lectures already done and given. So would be there anything more to speak about? Anyway, but I have to speak. As Sri Ramakrishna said, when he would be invited into some devotees' houses, Ramchandra Datta or somebody else, that they have provided me the food, they have fed me very well, so I have to sing and dance also. So I have been invited here, I have been fed very well, I have been treated very well since I came last evening. So I have to sing and dance, I have to say something. It is my turn to speak. So today is a wonderful day of celebration. This Independence Day of this great nation in itself is a great celebration for all of us. How happy we are to embrace this nation, this country as our new home. And we really celebrate this day. This nation that has taught, that has become the torchbearer, the flag bearer to the rest of the world for a long period of time about so much about independence and freedom. many different aspects of it. From the time of Swami Vivekananda, he loved it about this nation's, this glorious legacy that it is. And then we are here to celebrate the legacy of Swamiji. Of course, we Hindus, we don't commemorate the day of passing away, Mahasamadhi day or death anniversary. Hindus don't do that. We have the day of coming of a great personality, and more so a great spiritual personality. That we celebrate, yes, but commemorating the day of leaving this earth, Mahasamadhi day, no, that is not a Hindu tradition. But we are not saying that. I never heard anybody here who mentioned that we are celebrating or we are commemorating Swamiji's Mahasamadhi day. We are not, but there is nothing wrong. And as one of my previous speakers has connected it with Swami Vivekananda celebrating the 4th of July in Kashmir with some of his American wonderful followers, 4 great ladies that were with him, and a couple of Swamis also, his brother-in-laws. They were also with him. And with them, how with very high praise and wonderful words, Swamiji, he also celebrated this day. So we have got a connection with Swamiji, and we are here to celebrate Swamiji. And connecting 2 different celebrations, this is a wonderful celebration, and the whole day was so wonderfully managed and celebrated with beautiful performances that I am really, really happy that I could be a part of this. Now let us come to the subject. The subject is that New Vedanta and Swami Vivekananda. In fact, Swami Vivekananda did not start it. Swami Vivekananda did not found this New Vedanta, first of all. Let us be very clear about it. It all started with Sri Ramakrishna himself. If there was a twist, a new angle, a new light that was thrown on the age-old rock of philosophical basis of our religion, the Vedanta, a new light was thrown by anybody, that was Sri Ramakrishna himself. Swami Vivekananda was the commentator of that, and he did it in a wonderful way and in a very powerful and dynamic way. He preached it, propagated it. He was a great influencer, we can say. Great influencer. Nowadays this word is very much understood. Influencer. Sri Ramakrishna was not that great an influencer. How many people he had influenced in his life? He had to even go up the rooftop of that house of Mathur Babu and his office, on the rooftop of that, and to looking towards the city of Calcutta, he has to cry out, "Hey, why are you not coming? I'm waiting for you. Where are my devotees?" So people were not coming. Later on, after this big call, some people trickled down, started coming, but they were not very big, large crowd. Compared to that, it was Swamiji who could really, really influence, and not only influence, he could actually arouse the masses and make them passionate about it. First, help them understand what it is, and then made them stand up and get going and do something. That was the contribution of Swamiji. He did not start it. As one of my previous speakers has already explained that, Swami Vedanta, to be very particular, that Swamiji did not want to do it actually. And Sri Ramakrishna said, no, you have to do it. You are very born soul. So those of us who are so happy to live our life following the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, who are so very happy to be a little better clear in our heads and in our hearts about the universal, all-embracing, grand spiritual message of Vedanta. We think that we understand a little better about what religion is all about. Those of us who think that the whole world is our family, everybody, irrespective of whatever faith or creed or dogmas or rituals, whatever is their skin color or their nationality, everybody is my brother and sister after the message of the Thakur and Swamiji's that we have accepted, and we feel happy about it, to call everybody our brothers and sisters and not someone who is alien and who are outsider and who are different. Forget about calling them heathen and unfaithful or some such thing. Those of us who we are very happy about having this kind of idea in our heads, all of us are grateful to Swami Vivekananda. Not so much about Sri Ramakrishna, but Swami Vivekananda. It was Swamiji who made it happen. If there was no Swami Vivekananda in the middle, then how many in the world? And why talk about the world? How many inside India would have heard of Sri Ramakrishna and would have listened to his talks and his teachings and understood anything about it? Almost nothing. So insignificant the group it would have been that by now it would have died out even, that small group of followers. It was Swami Vivekananda to whom we have got all our gratitude. So when today we are celebrating Swami Vivekananda, we must therefore remember this one thing, that our life and our happiness and our this freedom of living in this modern world with this kind of a feel of acceptance of everybody in this entire world, be they belonging to any region and any ethnicity or any religion, it is Swami Vivekananda to whom we owe our gratitude. Swami Vivekananda was born in a part of the country. We are talking nowadays that the Swami Vivekananda, he brought to us this new clarity about Vedanta and how to apply it in our life. But Swami Vivekananda, and why Swami Vivekananda? Sri Ramakrishna also was not born in a part of the country, there in India. Back then, in 1880s, when Sri Ramakrishna left this world, even then, that part of the country, it was the Vedanta was not the religion or philosophy for the popular people to practice or to really study or understand. Vedanta was one of the philosophy, subject matters. There are 6 classical theistic philosophies in India, and Vedanta is one of them. But out of those 6, and this Vedanta was studied by the scholarly people, Pandits. They were studying Vedanta, they were very high levels of degree and graduation, post-graduation in the old-fashioned schools that were given for study of Vedanta, and there were very learned Vedanta scholarly persons. But Vedanta was not a part of their religious life, that people were practicing Vedanta for the sake of their spiritual emancipation or realization of the supreme truth. There are 3 different sects that mostly people were following. There are the followers of Lord Shiva, they were Shaivites. Then there were the Shaktas, worshippers of the Divine Mother, mostly in the form of worshipping Mother Kali. And then there were Vaishnavas, those who were mostly the followers of the teachings of Sri Chaitanya. So, after the preaching of Nityananda Mahaprabhu, the Sri Chaitanya's teachings was very, very popular. And there was a major part of the popular religious practices. Because when we talk about philosophy in India, then we think that philosophy and religion, they should be intertwined. Vedanta was also very much practiced in some part of India, but not in Bengal, where they were born. It was Sri Ramakrishna who actually introduced and popularized Vedanta. After him alone, now Vedanta has become a mainstream part of the life, in the sense that to a highest realization of the supreme truth of God or the all-pervading pure consciousness, this Vedanta is a way of living life and practice. It was not before Sri Ramakrishna. But Swami Vivekananda, he was born with a tendency, with an inclination for Vedanta, in the sense that what Vedanta teaches, and when we say Vedanta, we take these 3 different kinds of prominent existing religious sects in Bengal at that time that I was talking. Of course, the underlying philosophical message was Vedanta. Vedanta was the ground on which these 3 sects were being practiced, of course. But not in the form of the pure Vedanta that we understand. When we talk about Vedanta, we understand it is the way the Vedanta was preached by Sri Shankaracharya, that means the Advaita school of philosophy. Then only we call it a Vedanta in our regular practice. Otherwise, there are Vedantas. Vedanta has been explained in all different ways. Vedanta is only those textbooks that is where the Vedanta lies. But when it has been explained by those great commentators, then it takes different color or different way of understanding and then practicing our religious practices accordingly to eventually attain the supreme truth, the goal to be attained. So Vedanta has this Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, Dvaita, Dvaita, Achinta Vedaved, according to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and so many other different factions are there. All are standing on Vedanta. But after Shankaracharya, after the great Shankaracharya is coming, then Vedanta word became very strongly bonded with the way Shankaracharya has explained Vedanta. and that is the Advaita. In that particular aspect of understanding the supreme truth of God and practicing religion, a very strong inclination is towards the Nirakar Nirvishesh Brahman, the formless and attributeless Brahman. That is the supreme and ultimate reality. That is the inclination. Though Shankaracharya has also established many different temples and installed the practices of worshipping deities, and how many hymns he has himself authored in praise of many different forms of the gods and goddesses and deities. But still, when we associate Vedanta with Vedanta as a philosophical school, then we associate with Shankaracharya and we immediately associate with that the concept of the ultimate reality to be non-dual, to be formless and attributeless. And we see that Swami Vivekananda, as he was growing up, he had this so strong an inclination towards that he very quickly became a member of the Brahmo Samaj there. He became a member of the Brahmo Samaj who were trying to promote the worship of the supreme truth according to the teachings of Upanishad as formless Brahman. Later on, when they came to Sri Ramakrishna explained to them and told them the Brahmo Samaj of the Keshav Chandra Sen faction, which was called the Sadharan Brahmo Samaj, the general Brahmo Samaj. Then Sri Ramakrishna explained to Keshav Chandra Sen and their group that you are not non-dual, you are bhaktas. You are actually bhaktas. You are the devotees of God. Just the God has got no form. It is a formless aspect of the divine that you are worshipping, but you are devotees. But let us come back to this thing that how Sri Ramakrishna, he invented this new concept or new explanation of Vedanta that were to be afterwards promoted and explained and preached, and that has become fully accepted and embraced all over India. Whenever they talk of Vedanta, they take in the form that Sri Ramakrishna is there. So there is a newness there. When you say Neo Vedanta, then it is the new way of explaining Vedanta so that it could be implemented into the society, so that people could live their life according to that teaching. As Swami Vivekananda has later on said, that if the religion cannot help us, cannot help the society, cannot improve the life of the poor and the illiterate and the ignorant in any way, then what is the use of that religion? Swami Vivekananda has very forcefully, he has sent this message also later on. The religion or a philosophy, and in India, no religion is without philosophy and no philosophy is without religion. If Vedanta has to be accepted, then it has to be in the form of religion that could be actually implemented and practiced for the benefit of individual as well as the masses together, cumulatively. So what Sri Ramakrishna said, as I mentioned before, that Sri Ramakrishna did not really give the philosophy of Neo Vedanta. He did not. He gave in a seed form. the concept, the new way of looking at it, that Sri Ramakrishna gave, on which the elaboration, the explanation, and then preaching it everywhere, that was done by Swami Vivekananda. Just like there was the Brahma Sutra, on which when Shankaracharya gave his commentary, then that became a philosophical school. Brahma Sutra in itself is not a philosophical school. A commentary given on Brahma Sutra by Ramanujacharya becomes another philosophical school. Or other philosophers, when they, other great spiritual teachers, they give their commentary and explanation and detail it, then it becomes one particular philosophical school. Shankaracharya gave a philosophy school, that is the Advaita school of philosophy. Now what Sri Ramakrishna said, on which Swami Vivekananda later on he gave or expounded or detailed and preached, which became so very fascinating and wonderful way of accepting. You see that Sri Ramakrishna said this very powerful word, Jato Mat Tato Pad. As many ways, so many paths. This is considered as the harmony of all religions, as the central mantra for harmony of all religions, and it has been quoted here also today, that from the very ancient scripture of the Hindus, in Rig Veda to be particular, it has been said that Sat Ekam Sat Vipra Baudha Vadanti. The reality or the truth is one, but sages call it by many different names. Now this is a wonderful, wonderful message, and this comes from a very, very ancient period of time. But here, it has been said, Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. It is not one Vipra. It is not one great wise man or one sage who has found it in his or her own life. There have been many, many great spiritual giants who have realized the truth in many, many different ways. This is what it is saying. It says that many different rishis and sages, they have realized the supreme truth in many different ways, but it is about the same one and the only truth. This is the message. Here in Sri Ramakrishna's life story, we find a very different twist to that. And it is that it was in one life, it was in one person's experience, first-hand, direct realization of this truth in one place, that Sri Ramakrishna himself has realized the truth in many, many different ways and forms and different colors and different angles, and then he has come to this conclusion that this is one reality which can be attained, achieved by many different ways. All the ways eventually they merge into one way. This is Sri Ramakrishna's unique achievement and unique explanation, and this is a one step superior and greater from Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti, because it is not that many different experiences that have been attained by many different sages that is being concluded in one particular passage. It is not. It was in one life it was experienced, one life. And so it is very unique. It is very that is Sri Ramakrishna. From that conviction he is speaking. This is one, a newness to this message of Vedanta. When we come out and teach and preach everywhere that all the different religions and they harmonize, it is possible and it is one and the same, because it was seen in the life of Sri Ramakrishna by himself as a truth. And he said that it is always is possible, and there is no such thing that one is superior to another. Sometimes people have got this kind of conflict between them. Those who are followers of the Advaita, they think that the Dvaita is a lower level of experience, and eventually everybody has to come up and reach the non-dual experience. Non-dual is the superior and the supreme and the ultimate, and the dual experience, dualism is not ultimate, they say. Whereas the dualists, they might say differently, and qualified Buddhists, they also say differently. And in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, he has established a different kind of a truth in which all have got equal and same glorious status. There is nobody is inferior to anybody else. There is no one like that. And he says that why it is not possible? It is always possible. He says that it is always possible. He gave the example of that chameleon that changes color. Sometimes it is red, sometimes it is green, sometimes yellow, sometimes it is even colorless. But still, it is the same chameleon. Suppose somebody goes to the Mount Everest and takes the picture of the Mount Everest from many different areas, from the east, west, north, south, from higher altitude, lower altitude, different time of the day, different time of the season, winter, summer, fall, autumn. Then afterwards, what does he get? He gets a full album full of many different photographs of Mount Everest. Are those all pictures equal and same? They will not be same. They will not look same. They will have so many different colors, so many different ways of looking at it, so many different things. But it is one and the same mountain that has been photographed there. So this is something Swami Sri Ramakrishna gave. This is one. Another angle we see that what already has been mentioned before, that Sri Ramakrishna pointed out that instead of having jive daya, the compassion for the helpless poor person, when you do some kind of a charity, it should not be that kind of a feeling of compassion. It should be only Shivogane Jive Seva. You can only worship the Lord as if the Shiva has appeared in that particular form. So all different forms, the universal form of that one and the only divine being, be it rich or poor, high or low, any skin color, anything, anybody, all the differences, it is the difference of the same one. This particular message, it did not come from Swami Vivekananda. When Swami Vivekananda said that when you come to give somebody some help, then you are not standing from a high pedestal and that man is from a lowly ground. He should be standing on a higher pedestal and you should give him as if you are worshipping, you are offering like a worship to the Lord who has accepted your worship, that he has provided you this opportunity to practice this aspect of your heart that is called compassion. And it is Lord alone who has appeared in all the many different ways, and this is how service should be done. This we find from Swami Vivekananda, and that has been implemented in a very big way. Now, this was not Swamiji's message. This was Sri Ramakrishna's message when he said that. And then again we find that wonderful message that he gave to Swami Vivekananda after he had his Samadhi experience in Kashipur Garden House, when Sri Ramakrishna was passing his last few days and living in the upstairs of that Kashipur Garden House. And once Swami Vivekananda had this experience of Samadhi, Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And afterwards he came to Sri Ramakrishna and prostrated, and Sri Ramakrishna asked him, now you have seen everything, so what do you want? And he said, I want this Samadhi only, and that is where I want to stay. For the rest of my life, I want to just enjoy this absolutely wonderful experience of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, and that is all I want. Maybe from time to time I might come down and have a little bit to eat or drink so that I can survive my physical body, but otherwise I want this experience of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That is Swami Vivekananda. Well, he thought, he was like many others, had the faith and belief and conviction that that is the end of the goal. End of the goal, you attain the Samadhi of non-dual, and there you end up. You have nothing else to achieve. Sri Ramakrishna told him that no, this is not the end. Sri Ramakrishna explained to him, and this is an eye-opener for the modern world. When we talk about the new Vedanta, this new means a new twist to the explanation. Where Sri Ramakrishna told him that as a person climbs up the stairs to reach the roof, then after reaching roof, then realizes that it is the same material with which both the roof as well as the stairs were built. So there is, in his eyes, then there is no difference. And he is safe in coming up and down, and he comes down. He comes down to help everybody else. And then he sees that oneness in the manifestation. Until then, for an ignorant person, a man in ignorance, this manifestation is created by ignorance. It is made by Divine Mother Mahamaya to only keep you under ignorance and not allow you to realize the truth of that oneness of your own self everywhere. So you remain ignorant so long as you see many. This experience of multiplicity, this is the proof of your ignorance. And here you remain very strongly bound and tied and suffer birth after cycles of many different lives. And this is something you want to get rid of. A deep and sincere spiritual seeker, he is asking for a freedom from you. But we find that Sri Ramakrishna explained that realization of the supreme truth of oneness, after you have achieved it, then you should go further and beyond. And when you go beyond that, then you realize that this one has become also the many. So after this, these three different ways that Sri Ramakrishna gave Swami Vivekananda the truth of the new twist into the explaining Vedanta, which then became the way to actually apply Vedanta in our lives. Until then, Vedanta was not very much practiced in the people's life. Vedanta was for those who would be taking refuge in a mountain cave and live in the forest retreat, and they will stay away from all the people and the society and try very hard to realize the truth by the means of the practice of not this, not this. That I am not the body, I am not the senses, I am not anything else. This entire world and this creation is only to deceive us and keep a cover on our mind's eye from realization of our real self. Sri Ramakrishna came and gave this mantra on which Swami Vivekananda gave the commentary, which nowadays has become very popular by the name of practical Vedanta. Well, practical Vedanta is nothing but the commentary on these mantras. Sri Ramakrishna gave this mantra. And Swami Vivekananda gave the commentary in the form of the practical, now we understand it. We understand means I am almost sure that all of you have heard on this subject so many times and you have also studied this subject, and now people can practice it in their life. How to do that? Swami Vivekananda forced his disciples and his brother monks to actually implement these teachings into practice and show it as examples. I will request all of you to go and read about how these centers like Ramakrishna Mission Home of Service started in Varanasi, or how the Ramakrishna Mission Sevashram Hospital Center was started by two brother monks who are disciples of Swami Vivekananda, Kalyanananda and Ishtananda, how they started in Kanha, Haridwar. Or how Swami Akhandananda Maharaj, who was a brother disciple of Swamiji, he started from a very small orphanage. After there was a famine where he was wandering as a mendicant monk in Murshidabad, in the village of Mahula, how he started that. These were all, and many more incidents are there which were all inspired by Swamiji's impassionate appeal to his brothers and sisters in India, back in India, to implement this new angle of Vedanta in their own lives. And what was that? That go out, reach out to those who need your help, those who are hungry, those who are poor, those who are illiterate, those who are sick and ill, go help them. And this is not that you are doing any secular job, this is your worship. You are worshipping the living Shiva. The Lord Himself is asking your this offering. Go and worship Him. Swami Akhandananda, after he started his orphanage there in Mahula, he was in need of help, monetary help to do something, feed the poor and take care of these orphan children. Then Swami Brahmananda Maharaj, who was in Belur president, he asked Akhandananda Maharaj that, well, we can help you. Give me a write-up about what you are doing there, and then we shall publish it in our Udbodhan magazine. Udbodhan magazine was being published then, and he said that we shall publish it in Udbodhan magazine as an appeal, and I am sure that people will help. So he asked Swami Akhandananda Maharaj that please give a write-up that what you have done until now, what you are doing, how you are helping, how the people are suffering out of poverty, and then we shall publish the appeal in Udbodhan magazine. Then days passed, weeks passed. Udbodhan, next month's Udbodhan was published. More days passed, then Brahmananda Maharaj wrote another letter. What happened? Gangadhar, we did not receive that appeal letter. How long will it take to write it? Still nothing. Complete silence. After his third time writing, because they are becoming impatient, he said, what is the problem with you? Can you not write what you are doing there and what kind of work you have done till now, how many poor people live there and what kind of services you are doing? Then Swami Ishtananda Maharaj wrote this to his brother, older brother Swami Brahmananda Maharaj in the monastery. He said, brother, from the day one that you wrote me this letter, it was an order to me from the president of the order and my older brother. And I sat down to write, but I could not finish writing. Each time I tried to write something about what we have done, what we are doing now, only the tears are rolling down my eyes and my paper on which I am writing, it is all becoming wet. I could not write anything, I could not finish. You know why? Because this is not any ordinary work we are doing, this is my worship to the Lord. I am worshipping my Lord. It is Sri Ramakrishna whom I am worshipping. How it will be possible for me to diverge and tell people how many times I have done my japa, how long I have been meditating, what kind of worship I am doing to my Lord. This is my personal thing. This is my worship. This is what I am doing. How can I write about it? I cannot write, I am sorry. This is the spirit with which Swami Vivekananda had inspired many from his own brother monk to his many brother disciples and all to give their entire life and their whole time. They said that forget about sitting in the temple and meditating and doing japa there. This is your worship. You worship Lord, the walking Lord, the hungry, the poor, the illiterate, the sick. There, your worship in this form, this is what the Lord is asking from you now. By doing this, you will attain heaven surely, I am sure about it. But if you are selfish and if you just for your own realization and own liberation of the soul, you do something, then I call that is a very selfish act. Now, this is called Neo-Vedanta. When we say Neo-Vedanta is not about telling that the Vedanta, old Vedanta is gone. Neo-Vedanta is about giving the Vedanta the new way of explanation, how you practice it, implement it in everyday life. Wherever one is living, every ordinary person must be only seeing God everywhere and dealing with everybody, even your own family members or your friends or your neighbors or the whole world as the walking, living God and only treat it accordingly. This is the explanation of Neo-Vedanta. That God is not in temple alone, God is everywhere. And by treating God accordingly, we can transform our inner self and realize the truth of it eventually. This is the new angle. So thank you very much, Swami Prapananji, once more, that allowing me for number one, coming here, giving a talk to you, meeting all of you, and also giving me a little more freedom to speak a little more. I said that should I stop by 3:30? He said, no, you speak whatever you want. So thank you once again, and